Welcome to Featured Insights, presented by Caroline Economic Development. I'm your host, Debbie Bowden. This podcast is for all size businesses in Caroline County and the Eastern Shore of Maryland to learn from experts at the local, state, and national level. We hope that you gain insights that can help your business run more effectively. Hi, Robyn Ritter.
Hi, Debbie Bowden.
So we were talking right before we got started recording that you and I haven't really had a chance to literally sit down. I met you many years ago when I first started with economic development, and you've really become quite the serial entrepreneur. You've got Purple Peak, Red Light Liquors, Paperwork Pros, which is your newest business you just opened, and there's a restaurant coming in Ridgely. So
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to ask you to share a story about the Amazon store in a little bit.
Okay.
But thank you for coming in. So this is an opportunity for you to share how you became an entrepreneur and how you build in what you want to do for your business, how you made the selections. You've got a variety of businesses, and how you're working with your family. Because there's a lot of family-run businesses in Caroline County. We all have our own stories about what it's like to work for family. So this is meant to be for other businesses in Caroline County and on the Eastern Shore. So any insights, hurdles that you overcame, things that you saw that worked that you want to share, of course not trade secrets, but you've done so much for you and your family and for the town of Denton and then the town of Ridgely. I thought it would be good for you guys for you to share a little bit about it. So introduce yourself, give that elevator speech, if you will, and then we'll ask some questions back and forth.
Okay. I'm Robyn Ritter. I've lived on the Eastern Shore since 1977. I've lived in Ridgely since 1987. Love the area. Getting a little bit crowded, but other than that, I have always been an entrepreneur. When I was 12, I had a babysitting service.
Oh my goodness.
Where I would get other kids babysitting jobs if I had too many. And on New Year's Eve, my parents would let me have all my clients bring their kids to the house, and I'd watch them all in the basement so I could make the $5 or $6 an hour, which back then was woohoo.
Yeah, right.
Because 50 cents an hour for babysitting and $1 an hour if I clean too.
Right.
And then it's just kind of gone from there.
Wow. So give some other examples. You had a restaurant?
Yes, in the early 90s, where Market Street Pub is, it was owned by Ted and Monica Agapagalu.
Okay.
And it was the corner restaurant, and I purchased it and had it for 3 years, and we called it Court Square Corner Grill and Pub.
Okay.
And then I got pregnant with RJ.
Okay,
and decided that it was a bit too much to have that kind of a business and raise kids.
Sure.
So I went to work for Caroline County Public Schools.
Oh, okay.
And I worked at Lockerman for 24 years. And then I've done taxes on the side for 20 plus years.
Okay.
And had an Amazon store at one point, and the kids would come home from school, and I'd be like, there's labels on the table, there's envelopes, put the labels on the envelopes and make sure the right stuff's in there, and come on, we got to get to the post office.
Wow.
And then Rhett became very interested in cannabis, studying it. He went to Frostburg for ethnobotany, and when we brought him home, he talked about how he was appalled at the prices that CBD cost.
Okay.
And said, Mom, we have to do something. It shouldn't have to cost this much. And he wanted to start a hemp farm.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
And I said, Rhett, I'm 60 years old. I don't want to learn to farm.
Right.
If you want to open a store, we can open a store with our eyes closed, but
Yeah.
no farming. So we set up at the Denton Farmers Market for a couple of Saturdays for the summer, and we were very well received by the community. So we found a storefront, and
wow.
here we are.
So how long has Purple Peak been open?
We opened November 2019.
Wow. But you were doing... When did Rhett come back from Frostburg? And
it was the summer before. So we started that summer in 2019, and we did 3 months of the farmers market.
Wow, that was fast.
It was fast.
You hustle, don't you?
We don't waste time.
So you have the two. So RJ is your son,
Yes.
and then Rhett is your son.
Yes.
And so they're both also entrepreneurs. And it sounds like you're raising them to also think in that kind of outside of the box, let's do it ourselves kind of way.
Yes, RJ more so than Rhett.
Okay.
But Rhett too. He collects things, so he does a coin collecting business. So he buys and sells
I gotcha.
coins and silver and things like that.
Okay.
Collects art, sells some of it.
Yeah.
Then RJ's the marketer, and let's get into this business, that business, this business, that business.
Gotcha. So, and I have to admit that I don't think I could hide my surprise. It seems like Purple Peak's been around much longer, so you've really become part of the community. And so, how has business been, in the what, 4.5 years since you've been open?
We've been very fortunate. For one thing, it's a niche market. Mm-hmm. We don't have a lot of competition in the area.
Okay.
We are truly unique in that that we can find no family-owned all CBD stores in the country. Definitely none on the Eastern Shore or
Gotcha.
in Maryland. And Purple Peak, the name was a happy coincidence. We have always been 4Rs, whatever. Mm-hmm. And we decided, RJ said, Mom, that is not unique enough. We need to be like Golden Triangle. And I was like, that sounds like a Chinese restaurant.
Right.
What
Yeah.
about purple? What if we use Peak and we put an E on the end for the Chesapeake?
Gotcha. Okay.
And he said, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And here we are.
It really, so RJ, you said, is the marketer. That really does, you have that brand.
Yes.
Because a lot of product and stores in that market, in the cannabis and the hemp market, they're using green. And so for you guys to go a whole different color, but it just evokes this idea with the Peak, especially with Chesapeake, of health, right? And caring for yourself and wellness. And that's really what it is, right? It's a health and wellness store.
It is.
Yeah.
We're very, very customer oriented. We have people come and ask about products for certain things, and there's no studies that really show that CBD works for that. And we'll tell people right up front, you can give it a try. In studies, half the people are helped, half aren't.
Right.
But we don't sell anything that we aren't willing to say, we've done the research and this works. And there we go. I got hurt a couple of years ago. I shattered my shoulder, broke my femur in 3 places.
Oh, my goodness.
And I spent 45 days in inpatient rehab.
Oh, wow.
And my doctor now carries our brochures
Oh,
because
wow.
he was so impressed with how the CBD helped me. So we've been lucky. It's a good product. We like the community. The community's been very receptive. But we get out and about too.
Yes.
We've been to Pennsylvania. We've been to Virginia. We've been to the Lower Shore. We don't sit still or rest on our laurels.
Right. How is it working with your kids?
I am very fortunate.
Oh.
Because a lot of people wouldn't want to work with their kids, and their kids wouldn't want to work with them.
Right.
And I love working with my kids, and I'm blessed that they like working with me.
That's awesome. And how
Very
many
much.
employees do you have working for you with Purple Peak and then the other businesses?
So with Purple Peak, we have 3.
Okay.
We have they're all part-time, and one of them will be moving to full-time to the liquor store when that gets open.
Okay.
And then one of the teachers at school, when she retired, she had been working at Purple Peak doing markets with me, and she is now my assistant in the Paperwork Pros.
Okay.
And she laughs and said before she became a teacher, she wanted to be an accountant, and she always said when she grew up, she was going to work with numbers, and now she's working with me.
Oh, that's awesome. So talk about that. Paperwork Pros, what is that?
So the kids said, Mom, why are you working at school? You have so many tax customers. You should be doing this full time. So I thought about it. And we decided to go ahead and do that. But it's hard to have, I think it would be hard to have a business that strictly was taxes because that's such a,
What's seasonal?
such a limited amount of time.
Right, yeah.
So we do bookkeeping also.
Okay.
We do MVA title and tags.
Oh.
We do Western
okay.
Union.
Okay.
We do pack and ship. We're an approved drop-off for Amazon, UPS, and we're working on getting our FedEx approval.
Say that one again. You are an approved Amazon UPS drop off.
Yes. So
Okay.
if you have a label,
Right.
you put it on the package, bring it to us, and we'll
Okay.
make sure that UPS picks it up. You can also have things delivered to us if you don't want them left
Okay.
out on your porch.
Oh, that's great to know.
We can also print out label. You know, we have the ability, if you come in and you aren't able to print a label, we can print a label for you and all that kind of stuff. We do notary services.
Okay.
Fax. We just got our large copier in, so we can do large copy jobs for people.
Okay. Okay.
Which is something that nobody around here does.
Right.
So you don't have to run to Easton anymore to get
Yes.
1,000 copies of something. We can do it.
So that's, that is something that support the businesses that support businesses, accountants, attorneys, bookkeepers, the office supply, that seemed to have gone away. But now, like you saw a need
Yes.
because there's a lot of businesses that, for whatever reason, a lot of times it's that workforce issue that they can't fill a position, so they're contracting it out with somebody. And I'm sure that you're probably going to see that if you haven't
Yes.
already.
We're actually, we are virtual receptionists also.
Oh, okay.
So we bought a bank of phone numbers, and if you're a plumber and you don't have an office, you work out of your home, you don't want to hire a secretary, you can have your phone calls come to us. We can give you your own personalized number and answer your phone calls all day.
Wow. And just you and the
Dawn.
Dawn.
For right now.
Okay.
But we have
All
some
right.
more teachers retiring this year that have called me about coming to work. So
And you say, and you have a storefront.
yes,
Okay.
we're in the same building as Purple Peak, but we're
Gotcha.
upstairs.
Okay.
And we face Market Street.
Gotcha. I had another question about Paperwork Pros, and now it's gone from my head. Oh, but it's back.
Okay.
Good thing. How was it setting up with the behemoth Amazon and UPS? Those are two large corporations, so you can't just call 1-800-AMAZON or 1-800-UPS and find out how to get set up as you are set up as official drop-off. Talk a little bit about how that process worked. I don't want you to give away your secret because that's what you're providing, but just how was that? Was it easy? Was it hard?
So I typically, every few months, will say, how can I make money using my computer?
Okay.
And Amazon came up and they talked about, I think it's called Turk, and it's where you do these little jobs for them and it's paid like 3 cents a minute or so.
Okay.
Anyway, but they have a thing about that they were looking for Amazon locker spaces,
Okay.
which are more popular in cities.
Right.
So I contacted them and they said they had just started this Amazon drop-off service. It's actually called PUDO, which is pick up, drop off.
Okay.
And they were going to expand it to other stores, but they were working with Amazon first.
Okay.
And so we fit the thing. We had to send in a picture of where we'd store everything and what
Yeah.
our business hours were, and
Okay.
That has done very well.
I'm sure. Yeah, it
We
was
had
impossible to do.
485 packages last month
Wow.
between Amazon and UPS.
Wow. So it's any UPS drop-off then also?
Except
Or-
for Amazon sends out a QR code
Right.
instead of, and we can't do those. It's some sort of an
Oh, okay.
agreement between UPS and Amazon that it will only be at the UPS store.
Gotcha.
I called and tried to get that changed,
Yeah.
but was not able to. So I tell people, if they send you a code, call them and say, I live too far from a UPS store, you have to send me a label. And they will. They'll
Yeah.
email you a label.
Yeah. And how many business clients do you, for that particular service, do you see? Or is it mostly personal and residential?
It's mainly personal and
Gotcha.
residential.
Okay.
I would say there's maybe half a dozen business clients. Now, we do have people who are considered personal, but they have businesses in their home.
Right.
We have one gentleman that he has a baseball card business,
Okay.
and he brings many packages a
Yeah.
month. Many
Yeah.
packages.
So, that's something that you are a great example of. You just said you're always looking for a way to make money. You're always thinking of the hustle, and the side hustle is a major part of our economy. Has been for a long time. I think a lot
I've
of
done
people.
mystery shopping for 20 years.
That's awesome. I love that.
We've been to more restaurants on somebody else's dime than I can count.
Oh, that's fantastic. But fine. And so now it's come for full circle, because if I have a stationery store, or I'm doing something online, you are providing that service as what started off as a side hustle to the side hustlers, and
Yes.
it's a full ecosystem.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I love it. I love it. Mystery shopper. Wow. They still do that. Can somebody join your team, or how do you do that?
So I tell people if they're at all interested in it, let me know, and I'll forward them the lists
Okay.
of some of the mystery shop companies that I work for, or if I get mystery shops that I'm not able to fill, which these days I'm not able to fill many of them.
Gotcha.
I forward the emails, but you can go to casinos, you can go to Ritz Cruise Steakhouse, you can go to what's the Trimper's Pier?
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah,
Ocean
yeah.
City. You can go there. You can get the old-fashioned photos. We've gone bowling. We've
Wow.
gone to Six Flags.
And you just provide a review then, right? A write-up?
Yes.
That's awesome.
And I tell people you're not going to get rich doing it, but you'll get to see a lot of things, and it
Yeah.
won't cost you anything to do
Yeah.
it.
Sounds like a great thing for a family to do. Somebody make a little
Absolutely.
spending
The
money.
kids have been to Ripley's, believe it or not, and all kinds of stuff that way.
So let's see, what else? You've got the red light liquors, right?
Yes.
And you said
Soon.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Shelving was delivered today. Cooler's been done. Touch-up work was done. Shelving was delivered. They're going to put that up this weekend, and the fire marshal will be out on Thursday to do the inspection. And I told Crystal out at the liquor board that we will be there to pick up the license 30 seconds after we get the permit.
Right.
And because in I don't know if it's Maryland law or if it's Caroline County law, but the law is that it must be state. You cannot even talk to the liquor companies till you have that license
That's
in
right.
hand, even
Yeah.
if you're approved.
Yep, that is
So-
a state law. So how did you decide to get into a liquor store? Because that's not a low-risk venture.
No. So I was out at a McDonald's shopping center one day, and I noticed the sign in the window for the space for rent. And I have, for 20 years, told people, somebody should open a liquor store here. I even tried to talk my sister into it. And I called John Griffith, and he said he wasn't sure. He'd need to check with property manager. They'd never talked about a liquor store.
Gotcha.
And I said, well, what about a CBD store? Because that was originally, when I called RJ, I said, what do you think of having a satellite of Purple Peak out at McDonald's? He said, for the right rent, I could do that. So there were two spaces. We looked at both of them, and we were going to take both of them, liquor store in one, Purple Peak in the other. But the other space was rented, so we decided to just go in on the liquor store. And I just have always thought that that's just a great location.
Oh, yeah,
They're-
absolutely.
They should have a traffic light in that parking lot, and then in the summertime with the beach traffic and all.
Right.
And I felt there was a need for that too. The liquor stores in this area close fairly early. I think it's a good business. It's not ever going to be. It's
Pretty
not-
recession-proof.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's how that came about. And RJ chose the name, and he actually did the design. And people will be amazed when they walk in. It almost feels like a nightclub.
Oh, wow.
It's very cool looking.
So full everything, spirits, wine, beer.
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to
we-
have a, there's a name for a person that does the wine that,
Sommelier,
yeah.
not at first. So
Okay.
we are eventually going to have a humidor and have
Okay.
cigars. We're going to have very high-end liquor at some point available, things that people can't get if they aren't willing to drive a couple of hours.
Right.
And then just your basic everything.
Yeah.
And we will be at 21 and over only.
What does
Because
that mean?
you have to be 21 to even come in the door.
Okay.
Because we don't sell gasoline.
Gotcha.
And there's 7-Eleven if you're 16 and want snacks.
Gotcha.
There's no need if you're under 21 to come into our store.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
it just makes it a bit easier. And then
Right.
we're going to be open till midnight,
Okay.
Sunday through Wednesday, and then 2 a.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
So awesome. So that's great with the higher end stuff and becoming more of like an experience then.
Yes.
That's great. So lastly is the restaurant to be named.
Yes.
I hope we get first dibs on announcing the name in Ridgely. So it's for locals, they may have known it as Dave's Place.
Yes.
And it's on the main strip there across from MetaFast and just still in the town. So
Yes.
you guys are really, you and your sons are becoming entrepreneurs for entertainment and medical and health and business and everything. Why get into a restaurant?
Because I'm crazy.
Okay.
I always swore I would never do a restaurant again. That
Yeah.
if I ever did, it would be 10 seats that I could handle all by myself because, the large stuff will kill you. But
Yeah.
RJ has always wanted to do it. And I think originally this area needs more of that kind of thing.
Yes.
There's really not a restaurant that you can go to with your family a couple of times a week, won't break the bank, or a place you can go get rowdy and not have to worry about bothering people and that kind of thing. And that's kind of where we're at.
Right.
We want a place that's, you can feel free to bring your family, or you can come with just the gang after work kind of thing.
Right. I think RJ described it as kind of a sports bar feel. That kind of
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we did economic development strategic plan a couple years ago, and I did some outreach. And the top thing that everybody says is that family-friendly restaurant. We still
Yay.
need that. Yeah. So I think that the community is certainly wants that. And when you live here and you start thinking about choices to eat, because we as society eat out a lot,
Yes.
a lot more than when I grew up. There's not a lot of options, like you said, to keep going back where it's not going to cost a family $250, $300 to sit down and have a decent meal. So I think that's a
Exactly.
need. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'd like to do like Sunday brunch and, breakfasts and carry out and just be a part of the community. And we try with Purple Peak even to really be a part of the community.
Oh, yeah.
We sponsor teams when we can. We're out at events all the time. We sponsor events, and I'd like to see us be that kind of a presence in Ridgely.
Mm-hmm.
And we've met with planning and zoning and talked about it, and made sure that everything we were thinking of would work.
Right.
So we're excited about it, and that's probably a 6-month to a year project.
Okay.
So once we get the liquor store doors open, then we can start concentrating on that, and then we'll start looking at the next venture. Because I'm sure there'll be more.
I was going to say that was going to be my last question. Anything that you want to do that you haven't done already, or that your kids want to do that they haven't done?
There's a few things.
Yeah,
There are.
Yeah. Okay.
We have some ideas.
We'll have to bring you back then when you get those coalesced and start sharing that.
We will. We definitely will.
Robyn Ritter, thank you so much for coming out. This was last minute. I had somebody else planned, but I think it worked out for the best, because this is great to talk with you, hear kind of insights, hear how you are just living the hustle, and that's awesome. Making it a living for yourself, for your family. Really grateful that you're in Caroline County. So thank you so much for coming out and talking with me today.
Thank you for having me. We are very appreciative of Caroline County and the things it's afforded us.
Awesome. Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe to Featured Insights, and look for us on your favorite podcast platform.